Hello and welcome again. In this video, we are going to fetch all our tweets from our database and we are going to show on the Twitter timeline. So in this video tutorial, we are going to build the main component or the main timeline of Twitter. So let's start. So as you can see here, we have our main timeline, and as of now, we are not showing anything, but we can submit now any tweet, we can create a tweet, we can tweet basically. So this is a tweet, and if we hit enter, it is being done. You can see. Okay, so yeah, so now we have some tweets inside our database. So if we go to our dashboard in the Twitter, in the tables, in the tweets, here we can see all the tweets. Okay, so there is no tweet because if we go to the main component, in the main component we have a main form, a compose tweet. Here we are submitting the tweet just like that. It is saying that auth user, miss. So let's see if it is working or not. So as of for now, you can see this is not working. We will see what is happening here. Const, it gives us data and error, console.log. We will log the data and the error both, and we will see if this is working or not this time. This is a tweet. Let's tweet this. New row. Okay. So it is saying that we are violating the row level security policies. So it's good. We are getting some details over here, but I want to show this message or this error message on the front end. So can we do that? But I think we can't do this in the server actions. So if we showing error on client in server actions, Next.js, how to handle the errors. So we will see how to handle the errors. Okay, so we can submit the error and we can do like this. Cool. You can return anything. We can return the data and error from here. So what we can do, we return data and error just like that, and here we can do this thing. Action async form data, await action form data, and this is how it is suggested here. So this is a tweet. We can see what it is saying. If it doesn't break the UI, we don't consider it an error. Yeah, that's true, because we are doing all in server, so it is not breaking the UI. It's just the data you return from an action, so put it into the state. It create rules, if errors, set error. There would also be built in the justice pattern auto. So now let's try to return this and we will see if this is working or not. The data we are getting here, we can make it async, and here we can make this action, the data, and let's give it any on now, and it should give us some data or the response, and we will print out the response. I'm not sure it will work or not, but yeah, it is saying form action function. Functions cannot be passed directly to client components unless this is not a client component. Let's see if it is breaking the UI. Yeah, so form action function cannot be passed, but why it is saying here the same thing? We are doing the same here. Action async data, the form data, and okay, so what I found out is we can't handle the errors just like we handle in the client component. If we want to do this, we need to create a client component and then call the server action like this. This is a client component. We need to create a client component inside the server component, and then we can call this as a props.server action and form data like this. It's possible with a client component, you can pass the server action as a prop to the client component. So this is how we can handle the errors. That's why I believe that TRPC is still ahead of time. If you use TRPC, your life will be so much easier. But don't worry, we can do that now. So let's create a client component for now. So in the server component, create a form client component. Let's try this out if this is working or not. So first we will say use client, and we will receive the props in here like this. We are typing it, and we will say we will receive a form client component just like here. So we can, I think, remove this thing. We can just follow this pattern over here, the whole thing, the error, everything. Let's install the package first. pnpm install sonar. This is a package which will help us to show some toast messages and nice toast messages. So you can see the toast message, these are very good, and we can also, you can see this is rich colors and looking good. This is our server. This is our server action, and we will cut this thing and we will paste it here. And instead of doing everything here, we will say props.submit tweet. So if you hover over it, you can see this is a promise of data and error. So promise of something, form data. So what you can do, we will pass the whole thing here. let's rename this form, capitalize this. We will import and we will pass our props here. So we will pass this submit tweet action, or we can directly say the action thing, submit tweet. And here we can declare the type action, and the type of it is this thing. So let's copy this and paste here. Simple, directly. I'm showing you how I am doing this, and this is our thing, and here we have our action. So now when this is action is being done, we can say it is dot, here is our data, and action dot, this is our action, and we will pass the data inside it, submit to it. And to remove this error, what we can do, we can declare this in another function, handle submit, just like something const handle submit tweet async, and this is our action. Or let's rename it to server action, so it will be more server action, more descriptive. So we will face some errors like this because we are coding the latest pattern or the latest thing in the Next.js. So we may face more such a problems in the future. Okay, so it's a functions. So yeah. Now we will paste it here, and we can say as any. We will see if this is working or not, but there is a chance that it will not work. Functions cannot be passed directly to client components unless you explicitly expose it by marking it with use server. So as you can see, it is still not working, and we are not getting what we want. This is already a server function, so basically it's not working. So we can't handle the errors properly in here. You can't get the return value of a server action in a server component yet. Okay, so we can't get the return value. The action must be called from a client component to do this. We are waiting for something like use action state. The action must be called from a client component. So we are calling that, but it is still not working. Okay, so what I'm saying is, if we remove this thing, let's refresh this, and now it's good, it's happy. And if we do this, it's happy, yeah. And let's try to submit something, hello world. Okay, so something, so are we getting anything from here or not? Basically, this is working. We can pass the server action as a submit tweet, and here we are calling this thing, but I am not sure if we are hello world server actions. Yeah, we are getting this console.log res. Okay, we got this. Yeah, we got this. So this is working. We are getting the error here, so we can see if the res.error is there, then toast.error, and we can say res.error.message. That's what we want to do. That's our whole goal. And if this is not true or the error is not here, then we can show a success message, which means toast.success tweet sent successfully. Okay, we need to configure our toaster. For that, to configure our toaster, we have to install this, and we have to use this toaster in the top level component. So let's go to the context, main component, not in the main component, in the layout, go to app, in the layout, this is our server component. Remember, in the Supabase provider, this is our client component. So in the client component, we are already showing a toast here, you can see. So now here we can show a toast and it will work. So let's go. If we try to tweet, okay, we are not able to see any error. Why is that? Let's close this. This is not working. Hit enter. Okay, we are not seeing anything. Why is that? We can create a client component inside a server component. So you can see this is compose tweet. This is our server component, and we are passing this server action into a client component, and we are calling this from here. So this is just like an API which is working. Yeah, I got this. This is just an API. So you still have to do this things here. So toast.error is not working. So let's console.log. Let's see what is happening here. Res.error. And if we try to hit, it is being logged, but I think it is being logged from here. Okay, so maybe we have to refresh this whole thing. Something new. We are getting this, but we are not. Number one thing, we are not able to see this thing. Number second, where is this console.log? I'm not sure how this is. We are able to see the console.log, but let's see what is happening now. Let's run our server again. We will see what is happening, because we are not logging any data and it is still showing. So that's what I am trying to figure out. Oh, okay. So that's the wrong thing we have did. So we are importing it wrong. Got it. Now it will work. It will work now. Yeah, something happened this time. Something happened. Good. Let's try it again. We can wrap this thing into try catch, the whole thing. If we hit the tweet, yeah, Now we are able to see our error. We are getting this error from our server component, and this is true. This is awesome. So now something is working. So we have to restart our server and we need to import our files correctly. We were doing it wrong. That's why we were facing the problem. So now we can remove this and now we are getting everything from here. So it's not a cleaner approach. It's good. We can say this is our form. Directly we are calling from here, and this is our function, which is a server function. So this is all good. But I would say TRPC handles it very beautifully. Okay, so if you visit the TRPC mutation, you will find that it is very good. It's my opinion. You can have yours. So now this is saying that it violates the policy. Why is that? Because we are creating a component server Supabase client, and this uses the API key, which is NN key and which is public key. So that's why we are not able to access our tables. So to access our tables, we need a secret key, a top level key, which we will use only in server, because this is a confidential key and we must not reveal it to the public, to the client. So that's why if you go to the Supabase provider, and I think in the Supabase context, somewhere we were using in the library, in the middleware. Yeah, it's good. So I think we are missing something. We need to create a server client which will handle all this stuff. So Supabase client, this is not what we want. So from the JS library, what I am saying is from Supabase JS, here we have Supabase client and we need to create a server client. This Supabase doesn't have access to our tables. That's what I am saying. And this is a confidential or a server code, and this is not a public code. So we can remove this thing. We don't need this here. What we need is, we need a Supabase client, Supabase server client, you can say, which is confidential and which will use a secret key. So Supabase client, you can say this is a new Supabase client and it will accept, first one is Supabase URL. So it is in the process.env.supabase URL. And the another thing is Supabase secret key. So process.env.supabase secret key, like that. And it will say that it may be undefined. So what we can do, if this is defined, so we can say Supabase URL is equal to const Supabase secret key. This is a secret key which I have shown you already in your Supabase table editor, in the project setting, in the API. This is what is secret. This key has the ability to bypass row level security. So it is secure and you can use this thing, process.env.supabase secret key, like that. And if this doesn't exist, or if this doesn't exist, then we can return the error, and in the error we can return a message, Supabase credentials not provided, like that, because this is what we are sending here. So we want to send the same schema so that we can show this clear message. So here what we can do, here we can use this and here we can use this. So it will not complain now. So it will not complain. Now we have our Supabase server client, and here instead of Supabase server client, we will use the Supabase server. So to insert into our table, we will use Supabase server from tweets, like this. And to get the current user, we need to use the previous Supabase thing. What I'm saying is const Supabase is equal to the previous thing which we have removed. Create server component client. This thing, it accepts cookies and it accepts headers. So this is our client component. These variables know that we have logged in or not. So Supabase client, here we will say Supabase client.auth.getUser. So it will get the current user and it will help us to insert in our tables, just like that. Now you can save this and it will work nicely. This is complaining Postgres error. So what we can do here is Postgres error. It is complaining that now we have two things, data and error. Error has message, but here error is said to be Postgres error, but here we are sending the error indifferently. So as any, does it work? So a TypeScript may be pain sometime, but you can fix this error. So what you can do, you can copy this whole thing and you can paste it over here. Now this will not complain. So now we are getting the error in the message type and we are getting the data like this. So the two things we have, but still the error can be Postgres error or the error can be the error object which has message. So now let's try this and this should work this time. Hello world, if you create a tweet, Supabase credentials not provided. Credentials are not provided. Why is that? Because maybe we don't have or this variable is named next public because this is a public thing and we are also exposing it to the client. Okay, so if you go to the context, where is this? In the Supabase provider, I think here. Okay, so this should work now. Click on it. Supabase credentials are not provided. So this means we don't have one of them two variables. So if you go to the env local, you can see we have our secret key, and secret key named wrongly. It is secret. It is a confidential key and you should not show this to public. I am saying it again. It is a very confidential and it has all the access to your database and your everything. So this is Supabase secret key and this is next public Supabase URL, and that's what we need. Okay, so remember to name them correctly. So now if you try to submit, it will work. Tweet sent successfully. Now our tweet is working. If you go to the database in the tweets, you should able to see the tweet here. You can see everything is looking good and nice. And this is the username which have submitted this tweet. So that's how we have, where is this? In the compose tweet, we have created a server component. We have created a client component. We learned how to pass, how to handle errors in server component and do all things. In this video, we were going to show all the tweets created by all the users. We were going to build the timeline, Twitter timeline, but we were stuck in some problems, some errors, but we have figured out everything. And in the next video, we will show all the tweets which are created by users. Thank you for watching this video and I will see you in the next video.